Quicken does a nice job of creating a variety of reports, particularly related to cash flow or the tax schedule, easily and quickly. But you may find that you want to combine financial information with production information, for instance, to calculate cost of production per acre or per head. Let's look at a way that we can use Quicken's information in a spreadsheet to do that. We'll click on Reports, Banking, Cash Flow by Tag. We'll decide the appropriate date range. In my case, I'm going to choose 2014. So we now have a report that shows our inflows as well as our outflows associated with our cow-calf operation, with hay, with wheat, and some overhead expenses that we may want to prorate among those. We'll click on Export, Report to Excel compatible format. I'm going to save it on my desktop so I can easily find it. And I'm going to note that it's 2014 cash flow by enterprise. And I'm going to click on Save. I've exported it successfully. Now I want to use it in Excel. So we click on Excel, we click on File, we click on Open, and Desktop. And I don't immediately find it because I've got to change this from all Excel files to all files because it's initially in a text delimited format. So we're going to choose on our 2014 text file. We want it to go automatically through the conversion process. So we click on Next, and then Finish. So we get our information imported. We may need to do some modification in terms of column width so that the labels and values are appropriately displayed. Occasionally there's some odd characters that show up in your text, as in the headings here. So we'll do a bit of editing to fix that. And you can add rows, delete columns as needed. In this case, I want to scroll down to the bottom of the outflows section, and I'm going to add a couple of rows so that I can calculate my per head or per unit expenses. So I'm going to insert a row. Maybe I'll insert two rows so that I have a blank row. And I'm going to add a units row, and that's for my number of head or acres. And then I'm going to do a cost per unit. You could do the same thing with your income or your overall cash flow if you wanted, but I'm interested in looking at my cost per unit. I'm going to scroll back up. So I see cow-calf is in column D, and my hay is in F, and my wheat is in H. So in column D, I'm going to add the number of head, and let's say I have 100 cows, and perhaps I have 160 acres of wheat or hay. I forget which was in which column. Then if I want to look at my cost per unit, I've simply got to add the formula that takes D and then divides it by, the other way around. I've got to take D109 and divide it by the number of units, which is 110. And so that will give me my cost per head. And I can copy that formula over to the other rows, and I'll then have my cost per unit for the other ones. So again, easy to export. If you know basic Excel functions, then you can add in the appropriate formulas to calculate your cost of production per unit.